This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a look at the ALPAKA Elements Tech Brief, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So taking a closer look at the exterior of this brief, we've got a very minimalistic, all black colorway here. Looks very, very simple, and I think it looks very, very nice as well. We've got two options. We've got a 16-inch version. This is the 16-inch version, and there's also a 14-inch version. So if you don't have a laptop that warrants a larger tech brief, like if you have a 13 or 14-inch laptop, or even a smaller laptop, or even a big iPad or tablet that you want to bring lots of accessories for, you can opt for the 14-inch, or if you have a bigger laptop, you can go with the 16-inch. Taking a closer look at the materials here, this is the ballistic nylon. It's an 840D fabric, and it's very durable. You can see, if you get real close there, it's got a nice texture to it. It's not super rough, but it's by no means soft either. But it's very durable. I actually took this in the rain a few times. I didn't mean to, but it ended up raining on my commute home. And actually, I think it snowed a little bit one day because we're still in springtime in Detroit, so you don't know what you're going to end up with. And it handled it very well. It also got splattered with mud. I cleaned it up, and you might be able to see a few blotches still. But it cleaned up really well. I just cleaned it with a wet rag, didn't have to scrub it really hardly at all. Sometimes with fabrics like this, you really have to scrub it to get the dirt and salt or whatever it is out of the grain, but that was not the case. I was very happily surprised with that. There is also an X-Pack VX42 version, which is another highly durable fabric, but it probably is a bit lighter, and it'll feel a bit lighter as well. So it'll definitely have a different feel to it. If you like X-Pack, with your other bags that you have, you probably would like the X-Pack version of this as well. It does look a little bit different. You can see the difference in the texture in the fabric. So check that out if you're into X-Pack. But going more into detail on the different features of the exterior of this pack, you see we've got the strap here. So the strap attaches just with these little hooks here. I'm not a huge fan of these hooks for taking it on and off a lot. They're kind of hard to manipulate, if you ask me. But if you're not going to be switching, as you can see, there are 4 points here to wear this in different ways. So you can go diagonally if you want to wear it across your back, or if you want a more of like a shoulder or messenger style, you keep it with these two here. If you're going to be constantly switching, I'm not a huge fan of this design. You really got to get in there and pinch. As you can see, I'm struggling to do it as we speak. And then you can get it off. And then just switch it, just go back down here. And then getting it on is quite a bit easier. You just kind of push it over the edge there, and it is secured. So this is how you would have it configured if you wanted to wear it more as like a crossbody with like a bag in the back, where it kind of sits almost vertically on your back. But if you wanted it just to go over your shoulder or like across like this on your side as like a messenger, you would wear it at the top here. But I do really like this strap apart from these clips. And I didn't move it that much. I mostly wore it as a shoulder strap, so I didn't have a huge deal with that. But if I were to have to move it a lot, that would have been an issue for me. But overall, I really did like this strap. At first look, I didn't think I was going to like this buckle. It just kind of slides on. And I didn't think I was going to like it because it doesn't feel terribly durable. It's hard plastic, and there's something about how it feels I don't particularly like, but it slides on really easily, and it stays put for the most part. I know it was not a great showing of that, but I never had any issue with this coming off or even starting to slide off. I really liked how it operated, and happily surprised with it because, like I said at the beginning, I did not think I was going to like it. So we've got all of these attachment loops here. And I like how large these are, because a lot of times when you have places for attachment loops, they're these little tiny, like thin areas where there's not much like strength to it, and you feel like whatever you put on there might fall off. But like compared to my finger there, you can see how long those are, and this is a very durable material. I know that ALPAKA sells a few modular attachments that you can attach here, but you could really attach anything here, whether that be a different kind of strap to attach another piece of gear or a carabiner. the opportunities are quite endless with that. But if we flip it over, you'll see the padding and a little bit of aeration that we have on the back side here. It is quite padded, and it is a little kind of weird looking. It looks cool, but it's kind of strange looking. I know I've seen this on their packs before. It is very comfortable, and although it does not have any inherent aeration, I find this, like the top material, to be pretty airy. And also the way it's designed, there are natural air pockets in here. So you're not constantly, getting the stale air stuck in there and making you warm. We did have one warmer day. I think it was in the 70s where I rode my bike to work with this pack. And it did get a bit warm, but I was also like prepared for the day. So when I went in that morning, I think it was in the 30s, and then on the way home, it was a lot warmer. So on the way home, it was quite warm, but I still had, it was actually the Patagonia Storm 10 on. So it was a bit warm for, the situation at hand. But overall, very happy with how this performed, especially considering it doesn't have any, the aeration we're used to seeing or that mesh or anything like that. But very comfortable. Overall, very happy with the comfort of this brief. Especially, like, most of my use of this was riding to and from work, and it's not something you would think about really riding on a bike with. So very happy with how comfortable it was overall. But moving on to the zippers, we have the main compartment zipper here is a locking zipper. You can see how those zippers come together. So if you wanted to add your own lock there, you could. These are, I was not able to find the brand on these zippers. I did find one of the zippers had an E on it, but I was not able to find what brand those were. We've got pretty standard zipper pulls here. They have the little ALPAKA logo on there, which I think looks kind of funny, but cool at the same time. No issues with these zippers. This main compartment zipper is a water-resistant zipper. It looks a lot like a YKK AquaGuard. When I first saw this, I was a little surprised to see that these weren't YKK zippers, but it operates, smooth, and I think that it is overall a very, very nice zipper, as well as all these zippers on this bag. They're all, like I said, unbranded. I did find the E on one, but I wasn't exactly certain what brand that was, but all the zippers operate smoothly and easily. This is another water-resistant zipper here on the front. And then we've got the hidden compartment here on the back. This one is not water resistant, which I think is kind of an odd thing. Maybe it didn't work with how the fabric went over it, but I thought that was a little odd. This zipper pull likes to kind of hang out, as you saw there. Like sometimes it doesn't go back in on its own. Like it's just gonna, I'm not sure you can really see that, just kind of hang out unless you physically go in there and push it back in. But that hidden pocket is, I know you can see it well because this is a very well-lit environment. We've got a light up here, a light right there, and then just lights around us. So you can see that very well, but while you're wearing this pack, because this is on your back or your side, so you can't see that as well. And it is a very nice thing to have, especially if this is your only bag you're bringing with you, slide your passport in there, travel documents, or you can even put a tablet in here if you wanted to. Like, it's a pretty big pocket. We'll move in there now. Just show you just the size. You got that nice orange interior there. The entire interior is blood orange honeycomb. So you can see it's got the honeycomb design on it there, which I think looks very nice. Very easy to find your gear because it's very like fire orange. It's a very, very vibrant color. But this pocket's pretty big. As you can see, putting my hands in there, how big this pocket is. So something like this Kindle here fits in no problem. And then we've got even an iPad here that fits just as well. This one comes just about to the end, but there's, it's not struggling to close, and then it's also got room on either side, probably, 3 inches right here to fit inside here. Apart from flat items like, passport, tablet, or something like that, there isn't a lot of use for this pocket because it is right up against your body. So whatever you put there, you're going to feel, and rigid objects, like, I guess more oblonged rigid objects, don't do so well there because they are going to be pushing up on you. Make sure that's hidden nice in there. So we'll move on to the front now. We've got this front pocket, which is similar to the pocket in the back, to be honest. It's just not hidden, and it is a bit larger. So as you can see just from my hands here, we've got a very large pocket. Goes all the way down to the bottom here and all the way to the sides. There's no, gap between. And inside here, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it, we've got these 2 pockets. And those are amply sized pockets too. Those go down to about right here, and they're the full half width. So 2 very large pockets inside there. And something I did like is that a Kindle like this can slot into that slide pocket. So that way if you wanted to put stuff like that inside here, it's not just, because there is, I mean, you can see the depth on this thing. Got the tag hanging out in here still. You can see the depth on this. So if you were just to put a Kindle in there without putting it in the pocket, it's going to bounce around a little bit, and it's going to be, I mean, we've got a fair amount of protection from this high Diener fabric, but there isn't any padding here. So you don't have any protection. So throwing something with the glass up that doesn't have any protection is probably not your best bet. But because it can, you know, it's not going to be bouncing around because it is, you know, stuck in this pocket. It'll bounce around a little bit, as you can see, because this isn't, you know, this isn't elastic. It's got a little bit of pull to it, but that's going to stay in there pretty well. We'll pull that out of there. But overall, this pocket's a nice place for, especially if you're going on a walk to the cafe, or you're going to a restaurant, or you're just going to meet up with a friend and you need to bring your laptop. It's nice to be able to put your phone in there, your wallet, your keys, whatever you need to put in there, because while it's on your side, you can access this pocket very easily and grab whatever you need to grab. And it's not small either. You can fit quite a bit of gear inside there. So moving on to the main compartment, we'll grab this locking zipper here. And this is where this pack really shines. As you can see, there is a ton going on in here. We've got a little ALPAKA logo here. Keep moving forward. Thanks for that inspiration, ALPAKA. And then on the side here, we've got another ALPAKA logo. Kind of hard to show you that one, but ALPAKA logos all around. But this is a ton of organization. As you can see, we've got that same blood orange honeycomb fabric, which makes it really easy to find your gear, except on where the laptop's supposed to go here, we've got this black soft fabric to kind of reduce shocks and stuff like that. This black fabric isn't terribly soft, but it's not rough either. It kind of feels like a late 90s, early 2000s headrest on like a car. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, like, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it might sound silly, but think like an O2 Saturn, the back of the headrest. Like, not soft, not rough, but does the job. And I have my laptop here just to show you how it fits in there. So I kind of actually went between these two places for my laptop. I'm pretty confident this is the correct place for it on the back here, because it's got the protection of the padding on this backside here, and then it's got the padding here as well. But a few times on accident, I actually slotted it in this one here, and everything was fine. It's got that same black material on the inside of this. There's just not really as much padding on this piece here with the orange backing as this piece here. But we've got this little flap here to close that, so it keeps it secure. It can move around ever so slightly, but it's not bouncing around. It's secure. It's not going to go, make its way into any other part of this compartment. But overall, that works as it should. You can even grab this tablet here, this iPad. You can even slide your tablet in there as well. So right now you've got, your 2 most expensive things most likely with your laptop and your tablet, safe and secure on the back. And this is also, it's closest to you. So like the way you're carrying it, like this is, going to be resting on you, and you've got your laptop and your tablet close to you. So it's always right there. You know that it's close to you and you know where it is. But I'll slide these out real quick just so I can move it around a bit better. Because when you fill this thing up, it can get pretty heavy, which is where that padding comes in nicely. But then we've got a couple more storage options here. We've got this middle divider, which on one side has this zipper with a fairly nice sized little compartment there. Obviously, this is a very flat, I'll give you a better view there, a very flat divider. So flat items do well here, but it's also nice to have a zippered compartment for things like dongles and really small things that you don't want to get lost. As you can see, this is a pretty big zippered compartment, but at the end of the day, there's a lot more space outside of that zippered compartment for things to get lost. So putting things in there that you don't want to get lost, even like your passport, might be better off here than in the hidden compartment on the back. On the other side, we've got some more dividers. We've got little pen holders here, stacked pen holders there, 2 liner pockets here, and then another liner pocket on this side. These go all the way down to the bottom, and this divider does not go all the way down to the bottom, so there is a little bit of interplay there. So if you put something on this side, there is a chance you could slide over to this side But it also makes this divider more flexible, which I think is a good thing. But these are nice to have as well. You could slide different, your mouse in there, or your keyboard could fit inside the zipper pocket if you wanted it to. Your keyboard, as I mentioned, that could also fit here where I had the tablet. That's where I had it most of the time. I normally only take my keyboard home at the weekend, but when I did, that is where I put it. But these pockets are nice to have. As I said, they're not zippered at the top, so things can come tumbling out if you're not careful. And then on this side, we have two pockets with a little bit more flexibility because they're not on a rigid middle part there. So these have a little bit more flexibility to them because they just have the fabric on the outside. But if you do have some stuff in this front compartment, there's going to be some interplay there between the stuff in this compartment and these pockets. But as you can see, there's just a ton of organization in here, and I was able to fit quite a bit of stuff in here. So normally when I'm testing a backpack going to and from work every day, I put my lunchbox inside of it. Obviously my lunchbox did not fit inside of here because this is a pretty, my lunchbox is pretty big and this is pretty small in comparison to a backpack. But what I was able to do is take everything out of my lunchbox and it would fit inside here. Like I have a couple Tupperwares and some fruit and stuff like that, and I just kind of put it in a recycled bag and I'd throw it in here and it would fit. I'd also put, because I cycle to work, I always bring like an extra shirt, and if it's going to rain, maybe a couple extra pairs of clothes. I was able to put a shirt in here, a pair of pants, and a few other things as well. When you need all those things at once, it doesn't work so well. Like I don't think I could fit my whole lunch and a pair of pants and a shirt, but independently you could do that, which I think is awesome for a tech brief. I mean, you can see how wide it opens, and once you zip it, it is, contained into a pretty small form factor, but it does spread pretty wide. You can really fit a good amount of stuff in there. And this zipper, it can be hard to zip when it's really full, but once it's zipped, it stays zipped. It's not gonna, split or anything like that. I had no issues with that, and I really did, shove this thing full. One last thing to mention here, we do have this little handle, which I found very nice for taking the bus. I do take the bus occasionally, and just because you don't necessarily want to be wearing it when you're on the bus, because depending on where you're sitting and how the seats are configured, you can kind of just hold on to this. So set it on your lap and hold on to it so it's not going anywhere. Or just if you're waiting for the bus and maybe your shoulder got tired, if you have this thing really packed out, you can just hang on to that handle. It is very rigid, like it almost feels like just like a piece of plastic in there. So after an extended period of time, it's going to get a little bit uncomfortable on your hand, especially if you have this thing packed out, like if you got a laptop, tablet, all your accessories, and then a lunch in here. This is gonna get a little bit uncomfortable, but it's nice to have that option. Overall, very happy with this tech brief. I wasn't extremely positive about it when I first got it because I'm so used to having a backpack and being able to throw whatever I want inside, but I was very surprised how much I was able to fit in here. In riding to and from work this thing for 2 weeks, it really kind of opened my eyes to what a tech brief can do, as a daily commuter. I'm so used to the backpack, as I said, that I can just throw everything I need in there. This helped me be a little more minimalistic, and that's not going to work for everybody. Some days I wasn't able to bring this because I did need to bring more, whether it was like something I needed for a review or something like that. But just overall, very happy with how it performed, and other than it not fitting everything I needed every day, no big quarrels with it overall. But so there you have it, the ALPAKA Elements Tech Brief. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.